You're listening to Chameleon Church. Biblical Antidotes for the Modern Man. With your host, Allan Aguirre.
Oh, my light's on. My big old outside. You know what? Watch this. Did you like that? All right, it'll get brighter in here. It will. It's dark, and this light's gonna adjust eventually. So, hey, good morning. It's Tuesday, October 22nd. It's the Chameleon Church Show. And you've got it's the really early morning look going on. Yeah. As the light starts coming into the room through the window, it'll start looking a little bit more natural versus this weird, I've got some sort of weird skin thing going, or I'm glowing. See? The glow. So, hey, it's Tuesday, October 22nd. My name's Allan Aguirre. I'm your host. It's the Chameleon Church Show here on Lamb Radio Video Network. I got that right. You know why? Because I read it right there. It's right there. And lots of stuff going on. So we've been doing video on Lamb Radio Video Network for a year now in October. It's been a year. We've been doing this face-to-face thing for a year. That's right. A whole year. Good morning, everybody out there. And I'm coming live. I already said it, live and direct from Park City, Utah, Tuesday, October 22nd. Let's get to it. So we've been doing the video thing for a year. And if my math is correct, and I'm pretty sure it is, I went through it a couple times. This is our 70th. That's right, 70 show. Our 70th show. That's including just the audio show that we used to do. Remember that? Remember those golden years of just straight up audio? And I was like, I can't see anybody. I can't see anybody. And they're like, don't show yourself because it'll crash. It'll crash the network. It'll crash the computer. Don't do it. And I'm like, but I have to look at somebody. And I would sit here like this, doing the show like this for weeks and weeks because I couldn't see anybody. And then one day I went, you know what? I think Mark's out of town. I'm just going to show myself. And I did. And I showed myself. And everyone was like, and then somebody else went. And then I think Darryl put himself on. So we did an actual show without permission of us showing ourselves. And guess what? The network did not crash. And so I went, yes. And yeah. And here we are. A whole year of doing this. And this is, I believe today is our 70th show. Yes. Good morning, everybody out there in Messianic Lamb Radio Video YouTube Network. So what else is going on? Today begins the new Torah cycle. We just had the last weekend of Sukkot for this cycle. And yesterday was the great day, the big old day, the 8th day. And did you guys have an amazing time? Did you guys have a great Sukkot? Did you have a great, we had 2 high Sabbaths and a regular Sabbath? Well, I did. I had a really good time here to Utah. We were introduced to a couple that led a community here in Utah. They lead a community of believers. So here's what happened. So in the 40s, literally in the 1940s, this guy, can't remember his name, was told by the Lord to go out into the Utah desert and that the Lord would show him where in the desert to build a community, to plant and establish a community. So this guy, I don't know, he was European. So he's a Mormon. He's LDS or ex-LDS, something like that. Goes out into the desert and the Lord says, okay, stop right here. This is the place. And so he stops, and the Lord said this was the place for him to build and establish a community, and that the Lord promised him that underneath this desert spot that he told him to stop at was water, And so in faith, he stopped in the middle of the desert in southwest Utah, near the Nevada border, and stopped there, bought some land, some acreage, started building a community. And because the Lord promised him that there was water underneath the land, he decided to call it based on a river that runs through the UK, Scotland. ESK was the name of the river. So he called the place ESK Dale, Eskdale. And it's about 3.5 hours from where I am. And it is, so they started a community, and it was to attract disgruntled LDS members. So if you were an LDS member and you were disgruntled and you wanted to serve Jesus, and you started getting the revelation that the LDS doctrine wasn't necessarily correct, but you love Jesus and you want to do the Jesus thing, all these LDS people started going to this community called Eskdale. And they had a boarding school, so people were like dropping off their kids there at the age of 11 or whatever, and leaving them there to be raised up in this community. They believe they're from the house of Aaron. They believe they are a part of the tribe of Levi. And so there's a big focus on music. And they have this, you got to remember, they've been out there since the 40s. And they have been raising up like musical virtuosos, like massively talented, gifted musicians that have gone on to do stuff. It is absolutely insane. And here's why it's insane. They're in the desert, and there is nothing and no one around them. If you don't believe me, I'm going to try and do something here. If you don't believe me, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. Hold on. This should be sharing, right? Come on. There we go. Hurry up. Watch this. Eskdale, Utah. That's right. We are in Eskdale, Utah. There's nothing out there. Yes, we are. See how quiet it is? Okay. Nothing. See that patch of green right there? Right there. See that? Yeah. That's where we were for the last 3 days. There's a community there of Torah believers in Jesus. That's where we just spent 3 days of Sukkot 2019. Right there. That little itty bitty patch of green. I'll zoom in on it. Right there. There's about, 75 people that have been living there since the 40s. They own a whole bunch of this land and part of that mountain. That's where we just spent, right there. That's where we just spent a few days. Terrifying, right? Yeah, there's nothing out here. But that's part of their community too. But it's an amazing group of people. And we'll be back. Is that crazy? That's crazy. I hope that screen share helped worked, because I'm only running one monitor. That's where they live. They live literally out in the middle of nowhere. And so when we got through that mountain pass and we entered into that valley, and my GPS says you're 7 miles away, and I'm looking around going, whoa, we got to stop doing this. Hold on. Okay. So when we went down to the valley and I saw this vast nothingness, and my GPS says I'm 7 miles away, I'm like, oh no. there's nothing out here. And then I saw that little patch of green. I'm like, no. Surely you can't actually think that's where we're going. Yeah, it's a nationally known dairy farm. They've got cows that like high end cows. They two milk tankers show up and leave a week. They're known for their music. They've like I said, they've raised up these incredible musicians. People, they grow up there, they live there all their life, they go to college, they become, it's a thriving community. It's amazing. They've been there, like I said, my mom and dad, their whole entire lives, somebody's been living in the middle of nowhere on that community. They're known as the House of Aaron in Eskdale, Utah. Wonderful people. So the original guy that started the community in the 40s, when he passed, I think it was Robert Conrad and his wife took over, and they led the community. His son, John Conrad, and his wife, Joy, took over in 1994. That's who we know. And we met them 7 years ago when we first moved here. So besides Chameleon Church in Utah, there's what's our buddy that Mark introduced me to that lives here, Brad Scott, who's 2 hours from me. And then you have this community, Eskdale. We're pretty much it in the entire state of Utah. The community in Eskdale, Chameleon Church, and Brad Scott. We're pretty much the only real people here in Utah that are doing this thing. It's that. Think about it. So Dallas Fort Worth is like 7+ million people. The Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex is like 7+ million people. The entire state of Utah is less than half of that population. Yeah, think about that. And there's only when we moved here 7 years ago, there was only like 8% evangelical Christian in the entire state. I would say that number has gone down in the 7 years we've been here. Because just because they call themselves evangelical Christians doesn't actually mean that they are. And we have, I think, the gift of meeting all of them and having the displeasure of having to interact with the majority of them. Yes, I did say that. So Tuesday, October 22nd, we just finished the Sukkot. That's where we spent the last 3 or 4 days. Half of our community went down there to spend Sukkot with them. Lovely bunch of people. Can't wait to go back down there and visit. What was awesome? We were able to spend, like I said, 3 days or so with these people. We've never, we only know John and Joy. So we spent the weekend with some people. We're not necessarily 100% on the same page. That's a rare commodity, but it was awesome. Respect, mutual respect, honor, grace, love, interaction, fellowship. It wasn't weird. It wasn't goofy. It wasn't full of psychodrama or the Utah butthurt thing. It wasn't, people weren't running around highly offended because I had earrings or whatever. And I shared, we did a couple songs and I spoke for about an hour and a half on Saturday. I taught on Saturday, and it wasn't an issue. And it was, they were a mature group of believers. And like my wife said, they're totally secure in what they believe. And, versus what I share on here a lot of times, what I end up having to deal with around here is a lot of just insane, everyone's offended by everything. And it's just the level of immaturity around me here in Utah is frightening. We didn't experience that down there in Eskdale. Absolutely refreshing. I tip my hat to you, but that's not all. Boom, 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 boom. Remember that song? I tip my hat to you, but I haven't got a hat. But boom, boom, boom. Remember that song? Yeah. Well, I tip my hat to the brethren in Eskdale. They've been it's a thriving community. They've been out there for like 70 years. I met people that have been there for 50 to 60 years. Mind blowing. That have major accomplishments in music or whatever. It's just it was hard for me, an LA boy, someone that goes to New York for vacation, to imagine people living out there like that for any amount of time and actually accomplishing anything in life. But that's not the case. See, so be careful about how you think, because it's not necessarily the I didn't ask. No, the people in Eskdale are not flat Earth. That was, thank goodness. And if you're a flat earther, I apologize. No flat earthers, because, that's really not a Torah thing. I know you guys are making it a Torah thing, but it's actually not a Torah thing. And I don't talk about flat earth because there's people on here that are flat earth, and I have friends that are flat earth. And I don't talk about flat earth because I don't want to upset anybody. Did you put that up there, Mark? Oh my gosh. Mark's trying to get me in trouble. All right, let's move on. So today's our if my math is correct, today's our 70th show. We've been doing the video thing here for about a year. That was my Sukkot out there in the middle of nowhere, and it was awesome. We had a good time. Because see, when you were inside the community, I mean, we're talking, they've got a communal kitchen and dining area. They had a tent set up for all the meals because it's Sukkot. There's this big center area with like a grassy area, like a park, and then there's like 3 rows of houses, like real houses in a half circle, and once you're in there, it looks normal. You've got tree lines and you've got roof lines, and then the mountains. It looks normal, but then you walk like 40 yards towards the edge, and there's nothing. No need to apologize, Bob. No need to apologize whatsoever. But no, there were no flat earthers there. No. So what else? And so they're born again Christians that were filled with the Holy Spirit in the 70s and came to Torah, and they all came out of the LDS lifestyle. And now back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, the women wore these little outfits and this little head thing, so they looked, like one of those groups, and they've made a lot of changes. There's been a lot of change. So what else is going on? Okay, well, we're not done. Okay, 70th show, 1 year on YouTube. I was just in the middle of nowhere for Sukkot, and today's my wedding anniversary. That's right. 31 years ago today, I got married. I had been living with my girlfriend for 3 years, and then we got married after having 2 kids. Today's my 31st wedding anniversary. Yes, it is. October 22nd. Yep. And the Torah portion starts over. It begins. Everything begins brand new as of right now. And you'll see that right now. Okay, so my co-host, Rabbi Darryl, will not be joining us for the untold future, for the next, 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. I actually don't know how long. He has to go concentrate on some other issues. Most of he's in the process of making a move to Niagara Falls. So that's involving real life stuff. And he thought it was probably best if he pulled out of a lot of the shows, except for, I think he's doing Friday night, and then, the Friday morning prayer, and then his Shabbat group. I think that's all he's going to be doing for we don't know how long. So, and then Jamie, he's back, but he's not back. So he should be here next week. And so I'm not necessarily flying solo today because I've got this guy with me again. And he's muted. Thank God. So this is Mark. He's this is his network that we're all on. That's him. That's his profile. Yep. And he looks like he's about 5'2", 125 pounds. Oh, his mic's back. His mic's on. So yeah, Darryl will be back, but he's not here. We don't know when he'll be back. And so right now, if Mark was in here, I'd be by myself, and that's no fun. There's nothing fun about that at all. And Jamie, he won't be back till next week. And so I'm gonna go out and find a new person. I was gonna say a new guy, but it doesn't have to be a guy. So I'm gonna go out there and find a new person, or maybe I do a series of different people every week or something. I don't know. I was too busy observing the feast to deal with business. Pretty good, huh? Because got Fridays was a Shabbat, and then I'm in the middle of nowhere. I had internet, but I wasn't there to do business. And then yesterday was a high feast day, was a high Sabbath. So I didn't have to deal with anything until last night and this morning. And so I'm not sure what it's going to look like or what it should look like, but we're going to see. I'm going to figure something out, hopefully by next Tuesday. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. I'm blessed of the Lord. I'm really only here because, like you said at the first of the show, you don't like it when you're just kind of blind and you can't see somebody to talk to. So I'm actually just here so you can look at me and know that there is somebody that you're talking to.
Well, that's awesome.
But I'm a little bit concerned here. Desiree says, so since you're alone,
that's right. We can do teaching.
I get it, but so that really, I'm actually quite offended because I'm here, so you're really not alone. Anyway, yeah.
Well, it's not that I'm opposed to teaching. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I just don't like talking at people. See, I like interaction. I like this.
Oh, then you want me to talk?
Well, sure, but I'm talking to Desiree actually.
Oh,
okay. See, that's why. See, I know there are some people. I think there are some people. I'm not. Are there some people on here on the network that just kind of look at the camera and teach, and they just go on and on and on and on and on? Is that true? Because I really don't have the time to to watch a lot of shows on here, so I'm not really quite sure how other shows. I mean, I was on the 2.5 Opinion show, and they had like a couple, 2 or 3 guys, and they're chatting,
ranting is okay.
Ranting and talking back and forth with each other, right? I've seen that, and I've seen some other shows where there's like couples on sofas with like Olive Garden type background wall type of. What is that when they paint and then they paint on top of that paint? I've seen something like that. I think they're in Texas somewhere. I've seen other shows where there's other people. There's people doing stuff together. So the last thing I would want to do is do this with a Bible or a book and then screenshots of like, I don't know, my favorite Bible program online or something. Whatever it is that people do. I'm not that guy. I like interaction.
Right. Well, that's why I actually created the morning discussion shows,
right,
which used to go from Sunday to Friday, and every morning we had a lot of different people on. Some people were regulars, some people we brought in different days, like that. And that's what I really like. Of course, I've always been a big fan of when you drive down the road and you got your radio on and it's Bob and Tom's morning show, and they call it Bob and Tom, but they're like 5 or 6 people all got with microphones, and they're telling jokes and they're introducing songs. That's one of my favorite radios. And I started off radio when I was 14 years old with 3 other people.
Wow.
See, and that's what I've always liked. But yes, we have individual shows where people just sit there and they teach. But they also get a very high volume of people that come and watch your show in their archives because they have followers.
I'm sure they do.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I just don't want to talk at people.
Sure.
I can sit here. I can teach. And even though it's true that I do have personality, I can teach. But bring my wife on and teach. Oh, how funny! How cute! Desiree thinks my wife would actually come on here. No, my wife doesn't do the thing. No. The dry UK humor is fine. I'm no stranger to it. No, my wife has. You got to remember, I've always been like the front man, right? I mean, being in music and in bands and all that. She'd much rather be in the wings, in the background. She doesn't want to even be on camera. You know what I'm saying? She's not that person. So no, my wife wouldn't do that. She's just
She
not.
did a great interview with me,
That's because I made her do it. I guilted her out of,
and she just
I told her,
flowed with it. It
you
was
either do an
great.
interview with me on Mark's network, or you can't leave the house for 2 weeks. And I brought the hammer down. She's like, no, Daddy, no.
But of course, from the time that I actually asked you to do the interview until the time
Right.
we did it,
How long did that take?
uh,
I had to save my pennies so I could buy her like something. I'll do it. You have to buy me a. That's none of that is true, except for the fact that no, they're not excuses. They're not excuses at all. My wife is not about doing this at all. Not even a little bit.
mine is not either. Ask everybody how often they've seen my wife.
Yeah.
On here, she absolutely will not have anything to do with it. As a matter of fact, when she walks into the door of the studio, she barely opens the door and tries to determine whether or not there's a live show going on before
Right.
she enters. And you see the curtain in the back, that's so that she can enter and not be on the show. So,
Yeah. She looked comfortable on the interview. That's because she was terrified of my wrath.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, we could really tell that.
Right. Well, here's look at. I doubt you can make it. That's right. That's right. So
same with my wife, brother.
yeah. So that's not going to work. But I'll make some phone calls. I'll reach out and see, because I want, again, So I've got video equipment. I mean, I could sit here and talk at my camera all day, every day, and edit all these sermonettes or these shows for YouTube or whatever. But and I do that. You guys don't know how often I'm in front of my video gear, talking at my camera, teachings or little antidotes, little sermonettes, whatever. You don't know how often I do that. And I start editing it and I'm like, and I just toss it because I don't know. This is who I am. I'm a, the by myself selfie thing. That's a little rougher for me. So because I'm not that guy, I'm not comfortable just sitting here and talking at you. I don't want to talk at you. And since there's a delay in the comment section, there's, now if we were using Zoom, we could bring all these people into the show on Zoom, and then we could have this interaction thing. That would make it easier for me if I was just going to do something by myself. But I have no intention. I have no plan on doing anything by myself, because that's not like, if I'm going to do anything by myself, I want it to be pre-recorded, edited, with music and and it's not even like a 119 thing. Something even more, I don't want to just talk at people. Oh, hi, like a news guy. I don't want to do that. And so I remember having this issue, 10, 12 plus years ago in the mid 2000s, because we were involved with podcasting from the very beginning. And I'm like, okay, we want to do a podcast show, and then we want to do a vidcast show, because we always knew video. We always knew this was the future. I don't know how many of you guys know this. I was shopping a pre-YouTube internet solution back in 2000. People didn't get it because they just didn't get it. It would take 5 more years until YouTube, and then look how long it took for the entertainment industry to figure out, what do we do with the internet? They were so terrified of it, But anyway, all that to say, I never wanted to have like, I'm at a desk, Allan Aguirre, with little bubble screen over here, and it looks like a stage, like a newscaster set. I don't want to do that. I've never wanted to do that, that's why I've never done it, and so I'm gonna find some people and we'll bring them on here and we'll figure something out.
Well, you were talking about Zoom and bringing in the people in the chat. That is about as risky as you could possibly get.
I can handle it.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, back in the days when we did radio, we could do it in our pajamas. Now we have to, at least from the waist up, we have to, be halfway decent. And I mean, I was just thinking, if you had people on the show out of nowhere, you could get. Let me read one of the notifications for Sherry Flanagan's show. You could get this. We've read Bible. We accept that Jesus, Bup, said, we've scrolled through many versions of the Bible. See this one down here. I am a quail bird, and I live in the middle of Europe, Christian world. I was born by birds on Mars and brought here by storks. As a Muslim, I survived the greatest genocide here and was ... So, you could get people like that right on your show. I mean, I could find a way to invite that guy to come and be on if you'd like.
Please don't.
Okay.
Please don't.
I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. And I'm trying to make the show diverse.
Right.
And so.
Well, thank you, Desiree. And I do appreciate that. Hey, so it's almost November, which means my new writing cycle is about to begin. Because of what's going to. And we also got our first initial snow of the season on Sunday. And we weren't here for it. We were in the southern southwest desert, but it did snow up here, and it lasted for a whole day. Our first like real snow it's going to stick is usually the first or second weekend of November. Last year we got our first. It's going to start snowing warning in September, so it's actually late this year. Yeah. So what I do is, because I don't ski and I don't do the snowmobile thing, since snow is not, I've never lived in snow before until I moved here. I'm a California boy. I'm a beach boy. I like wearing my shorts and t-shirts and yeah. Anyway, I'm wearing sweaters again. I just did this. We had a vapor of a summer. Anyway, because we're going to enter into the snow season. What I do is between November and February, since it's snowing and cold, that's my time to write. That's when I write, because I just sequester myself in my office and I write. And the idea is March and April, you're doing revisions and edits and blah, 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 so that you have a new book from me in May. So that'll begin here very soon. Yeah. That's a good idea. So I don't know why, Martin, I don't know why you didn't write this in here and why you're sending me private messages. But Martin says, how about having your kids on to maybe talk about their experience growing up in the family, being part of Ministries Walking? I mean, that might make a good little episode. I can see about whether my kids, what they're doing at this. I know my daughter that lives here with us, she's busy right now. She couldn't do it at this time. Maybe my oldest daughter in Dallas could do it because it's an hour later. I'll figure something out. We'll figure it out. Hey, and also the last thing I want to do, and which is why we've changed it up. Now, the reason together, I miss the old intro. I hear it in my head sometimes, and I'm like, oh yeah, remember that? What was that song? And there was a couple things that we flew in for the beginning of the show. Do you have that stuff on you there? How do you do that?
What? Let Us Reason Together, that intro song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
I missed that. I haven't heard it in a while. But anyway, sure. And the reason, when we started the show, it was a Reason Together show, and it was literally only talking about the Torah portion for the most part. Like 95% of the conversation was, I get shy. You're so good. Anyway, it was the Reason Together show, and it was pretty much 95% of the show was discussing that week's Torah portion. Well, I don't have a problem with that either, but there's so much more. There's other stuff going on, and so that's why we started bringing in other stuff and having these, and bringing in personality, bringing in, hey, what are you up to this week? Hey, what's going on in your life next week? Hey, what's going on with the world at large? What's going on prophetically at the world at large and stuff. So that's why we changed it up. We're at the top of the Torah cycle. And again, the last thing I want to do is, there's enough shows on the network here that will walk you through the Torah cycle. I don't want to get stuck just being another show doing the Torah cycle. I just don't. I mean, why? I mean, you know what I mean? Yes.
5 shows.
Yeah. See, that's 5 versions. That's 5 approaches to the Torah portion. That's fine. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but we can be talking about anything, and more. There's a chance on, at least on this show, that we're going to be talking about that Torah portion without even knowing it, because we,
Living Torah.
not just living Torah, but I don't think the prophetic is something that you do. It's something that you are. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be, if the spirit if the testimony of Jesus is prophecy, the prophetic should be a highly functioning attribute of ours as his people, as imitators of Jesus, in my opinion. And so
I have the song. You want to hear the song?
I need more coffee. Yeah. How long?
Let me see. It's just
is it
a
long
few
enough?
seconds. It's just a few seconds of the.
I need something long enough for me to run and get a cup of coffee.
Oh no, but you can go ahead and go. I'll take over your show for you.
Awesome.
Okay, but it's not showing up here right. Something's not right. I don't know why it's not. My screen, my third screen is not. I have 3 there it is. I have 3 monitors. So, well, I'm not. I was going to play it for him, and now why should I play it here if he's the one that wanted to hear it? Oh, what a dough ball! I tell you, here he goes, and screen sharing was counting. Okay, well, hi everybody. Like I said, I really only hear so that Allan has somebody to talk to. Allan and I have major doctrinal differences, and so which actually to me, I like shows where there's major doctrinal differences, and so it's a nice discussion if you're not going to get all upset and yell at each other. And of course, y'all have heard the saying, you have 2 Jews and 3 opinions. You fight over a doctrine, and then you shake hands and you go have lunch together. But so here he's back. I didn't play it because you're the one that wanted to hear the stinking song.
Say something about eating lunch together. What was that line?
Nothing. It wouldn't be you and I.
Lunch is for wimps.
I don't know. Can you hear this?
Mark's screen. Okay, go ahead. Can
you hear that?
No, when you share a screen, you have to click a little button that says share audio.
Where is that at?
You got to start over. Start over, and before you choose what screen you're going to show, there's a little button on there's a little box at the very bottom.
Well, I've done this before.
Yeah, we can tell.
Share audio. Somebody undid that. That's what it was. So, okay, this is only for you, Allan. Nobody else cares. Okay.
I'm gonna go to change.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
I like the change. Where's the change?
Oh, the change? I don't know. Oh no, this is just that was for the longer intro. Now we only get like 30 seconds, so I had to put together a short one.
Do you guys remember that?
Sure.
You probably don't because you weren't here, but that's the old intro. Ooh, Mark disappeared. Hey, we got some people talking to us. We don't want to talk about opioid addictions in Ohio. I'm not in Ohio, so I don't know anything about what's going on in Ohio. There's a bunch of people a bunch of you are in Ohio. That's kind of crazy. Gotta go. Oh, Martin's leaving. Ciao. We can tell, bro, you're a nice guy. Oh, here we go. We had 2 powerful revival and healing meetings here in Wales that weekend. The wife and the couple who ran them, one of her prophetic prophecies about revival in Wales is on a website Allan mentioned last week. So I told you guys, I talked to you about, so when a month shy of my 16th birthday, I was sent to Guatemala City, Guatemala. And my parents sent me there on a one-way ticket as in hopes of rehabilitation because, to get rid of my sex, drugs, and rock and roll. because I was, a problem child. I was 15 years old, and I was doing the punk rock thing in LA.
It's a good thing you've grown out of all that. I'm so glad.
But see, that's what I tell people. You get the 2019 version of me. You're lucky. You don't have the 2009 version of me or the 1999 version of me, and God forbid the 1989 version of me. See, you guys are you're damn lucky.
Blessed.
You don't even know it. That's right.
We're blessed.
That's right. The word is blessed, not damn lucky. Sorry, blessed. You guys are blessed to have this version of me. Anyway, what was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh, yeah. So I was sent to Central America, and one of the elders there was an American that was part of the original team that was sent from Northern California, a bunch of hippies down to Guatemala in 1977. I got there in 1980, January of 80. His name was Dick Fennell. He married a Guatemalan woman named Gladys. Well, Dick and Gladys Fennell, 15, 16 years ago, I don't remember, went to Wales to pray at a chapel for revival. Not to start a church, nothing like that, but they moved to Wales to pray. Wales Awakening, Dick and Gladys Fennell. So I asked the Thompsons if they knew about him, since they're in northern Wales, and apparently the wife in the couple who ran these revival healing meetings in Wales over the weekend, one of her prophecies about revival in Wales is on a website that I mentioned. So maybe was she reading the prophecy that came off that website, or is it the same prophecy? Because my friends, the Fennells, are also prophetic. So I don't know, but there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on everywhere, man. Let's talk about that for a minute. Mark, what is your take on the prophetic? So what's the word I want to use here? The prophetic forecast. Okay, it's like, okay, we're going to go swimming. Let's test the water. What do you think that prophetic water feels like if we're testing that water for the next 12 to 15 months? Or is this beyond your pay grade?
Well, it's not beyond my pay grade. I just there's only two things I don't ever talk about, and that is Revelations, because it's in the future, and the prophetic, because it's in the future. So those are the only two things that I don't talk about. There was a time I used to be involved with, like Kenneth Copeland, Charles Capps, and Lester Summerall, and all of those guys, and follow them, and Kenneth Hagin and everything. And there was a season when every one of them was teaching on the book of Revelations, and every one of them had a different view of what was going to happen in the future.
Right.
And I got so frustrated and overwhelmed with it, I went out and bought a bag of pot and just completely went all the. Can I say that on this show? I'll cut it out for you, brother. I just went backslid. Let's put it that way. That segment's gone. I backslid for a long period of time and said I'm never going to deal with that stuff again.
How about I just do that? So remember how earlier Mark said he could carry a show, and I said it's where you take it that I'm worried about? What are you even talking about? Buying a bag of pot and smoking pot because of the prophetic. Had I known,
I did because I wanted to be prophetic, and I thought if I took drugs, then I would be able to prophesy.
How'd that work out for you?
You see me today.
That didn't work out very well, did you? Did it? You know what's really frightening is the amount of these Torah people that smoke cannabis sativa.
Really? Because I've not talked to any of them.
Apparently, a huge portion of the Torah people out there smoke pot and have no problem with it.
Wow, that's so weird. I've asked around to a lot of people, and nobody will talk to me about it. So I don't know if it's because of the hair or what.
Not only are they flat Earth, they smoke pot. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, well, I can't.
I just said that out loud. I apologize. I just said that out loud.
The biggest view I've seen of the flat Earth in a long time is that video you showed earlier.
Oh my
You're
God!
standing there spinning around, and no wonder the guy asked about flat Earth, man.
Oh
That's about as flat of the Earth as you can get.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm sorry. This was all Mark's. Mark did this. I have proof he did this. I like this comment here. When I was little, I used to sit with my daddy while he talked on his ham radio to other hams. This show reminds me of that. I like that.
That's a good one.
I like that a lot. Thank you so much, Leslie, because that's
very cool.
That's a compliment. Oh man! All right, let's see here. Chinese Hebraic roots believers fled to Jerusalem and brought all the shofars and celebrated Sukkot. Yeah, that's a good thing. Ouch! Someone said ouch. Oh, here we go. Back to the whales. Our friend Amanda Clegg has the gift of prophecy. On that website, there are a selection of prophecies about whales, and one of hers from last year's there. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So then my friends know about Amanda or know Amanda. And okay, awesome. Yeah, you guys need to connect. Bum, bum, bum. Awesome. I like this. I'm a prophetic Hebrew roots person. Yes. And we fraternize with Christians. Woohoo! Triggering people. So what else? Wow.
Fraternize. You fraternize with Christians. What a great word to use. I love it.
I know. It gets people mad at me. Now, see the lighting? How the lighting is more natural? I told you.
Uh-huh.
When
the sun comes
up, the sun's coming from over there. See the brightness over there? And he gets, oh yeah, see that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we've got about 30 minutes. We've killed about 45. But it's been good information. We got up to date on what's going on. Oh, another thing that happened over the weekend was my part 4 of 4 series on Rude Awakening Shabbat Night Live on my book. This thing is spiritual. Somehow I'm able to do that every week. And
somehow.
Did any of you see my Rude Awakening series that was on for the last month?
What channel was it on?
It was on YouTube and a whole bunch of Christian television networks.
I don't watch that stuff. I don't watch YouTube videos.
But I was on it.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay. So, did any of you guys watch the Rude Awakening Shabbat Night Live series that I just was on? Let's wait for
Tova did.
Let's wait for some.
I think Tova did. Pretty sure.
Where's my Jeopardy clock?
Why is it that I keep getting these flashes of Ed McMahon? I feel like Ed McMahon.
Oh, Desiree, I've been watching it. Thank you. Yeah, very good, says Leslie. Thank you.
I thought it was great, man. I thought it was awesome.
Dude, you didn't even know I was on TV this over the weekend.
Michael who?
Oh, yeah, here we go. So, okay. So here's the thing. It's a 4-week deal. So we, you're not going to wear the same clothes every week, right? And it was their idea for us to wear something a little less, conservative. Because here's what's really interesting to me. Okay. One of the reasons why they've brought me into the Rude Awakening family is to appeal to a younger demographic, even though I'm the same age as a lot of the people they have on there now. What does that say? I'm not a stiff. That's what that means. Which I think is awesome that they're bringing a guy that's the same age as all the other people on there to open up a younger demographic, because I am a little bit rough around the edges. I've got earrings. So anyway, so it was, and so since we were talking about music and all that stuff, they wanted us to dress. It was their idea. Hey, instead of, because if you saw the first time I was on, I was wearing a shirt and a coat. I was trying to play Mr. Conservative, because I know they're conservative. I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'm trying to sell a book. Grandbaby needs diapers, and so. But this time, since it was about music, they wanted us to dress. So that's why I'm wearing like a leather jacket on the first episode. That's why I look like a mod on the second episode, and and so on and so forth. But yeah.
Hey, I want to know, did you and Scott talk about me at all?
Thank you.
Scott
Thank
Laird, right?
you. Scott Laird, yeah. No, we
Yeah.
didn't talk about you at all.
Well, Scott and I went to a Torah study together for a year.
Really?
Yeah, in Forest City, North Carolina. Scott lives in right outside of Charlotte.
Right.
In
Yeah, about an hour away. He told me
yeah,
where.
yeah. He used to
Or
drive
10
to our Torah study in
Oh, wow.
Forest City. Yeah, we did it for a year. Scott and I were a part of a big Torah study together.
See,
So,
and this is what I love. Look at Bob. Incredible series. SNL is how I found you. See, that's rad. Thank you so much. And there, the artist and the artist at heart. I've never seen your name before, so thank you. See, this is awesome. Let me tell you about the Rude Awakening people, man. Those people are so awesome. They're incredibly nice, respectful, generous, hospitable. I mean, I've had. So, I'm involved with a lot of Messianic or Torah type groups. And, the Rude Awakening people, that's one group. Brad Scott's got a different group. This other Eskdale, that's a different, the Chuck Pierce, Glory of Zion, that's an entirely different network of Torah people. And a lot of people, well, he's not Torah people, he's NAR. Well, then that's just ignorant, because that means you don't know anything about Chuck Pierce. He's been writing books about the Torah for decades. For a very, very long time, and you probably have never been to their church. Did you know they do all the feasts and they keep Shabbat? And, and here's what I love about this, right? So, but then there's like really incredibly dysfunctionally and I'm going to say demonic Torah groups out there that I've been involved with that, not so bueno. But here's what I think is awesome. This one particular group are all about tassels. Everybody wore tassels, no tallits, very little shofars. This other group, not very many tassels, but they have lots of shofars, not a whole lot of tallits. And then you got this other group, like the Chuck Pierce group. Man, there's shofars out the yin yang and tallits everywhere, but not so many tassels, right? And so every group has like this their own little characteristic, regarding tassels, tallits, shofars. Thank God the majority of them aren't wearing kippahs, because that's just But yeah, I see them. Everyone sees them. You show them again. Yeah, I saw orange and yellow, and he's going behind the curtain. What is this guy? This guy is just so weird, isn't he? This guy's just weird. Oh, jeez. I'd get up, but I'm not wearing. No, I am. Watch it. So I've got this really nice, like, rabbinical. This is what a real rabbi would wear. The felt velvet. I got this from my rabbi. It was a gift, and he gave it to me because it was a gift. Because see, I had dreads, and so because I had dreads, I always had something. I'm wearing a head covering of some sort already, so I didn't need to wear one of these. Now I have this. We don't wear these because they're not biblical; they're rabbinical. But I have one so that if I need one to get into a scenario, like you got one of them too, then I have that. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm right, all things. So look at Mark's got like a freaking plethora. Look at this guy. So I've got this one, and then I've got this one because it's goofy. So all you Hebrew readers out there, this is from the Chabad House of Mill Basin in Brooklyn, New York. Look at this. This got all sorts of stuff going on here. And I don't read Hebrew, so you can tell me. Maybe these could be cuss words for all I know. See?
Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
So anyway, I've got two. And Martin's gone. Are my Wales, Northern Wales people still in here? Because you'll appreciate this. Well, you should. Maybe. I could also just be profiling you by saying that. But I got this. Yeah. This is like the real deal, bro. This is like the real freaking deal right here. Okay, I don't. Hold on. Okay, this is what our show should look like. Because it would not only freak people. This is like my travel tallit. I've got a tallit that's like, that's like huge, massive. This is like this. I'm gonna go travel somewhere, so I'll take this with me sometimes. See, I don't wear. I'm still. I'll tell you the story about wearing tallits. I've got a story. Oh, where's my other hat? I didn't bring it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. This will freak people out. Okay. All right. So let's do this. This is what our show should look like. See the way you're sitting. You got the sitting down, man. I don't have the sitting down. You got that whole goofy. You're channeling some sort of Rabbi thing going on there now. And hey, are there people? Do you think there's somebody out there thinking that we're mocking this? We're not doing this to mock anyone.
We're not mocking nobody.
We're just pulling out our stuff.
Our garb.
Yeah.
Our garb.
Anyway, our show can't look like that either because, well, I don't want to be that guy. So let me tell you my story about tallit. I've shared it on here before.
So I got to take all my stuff off?
You can keep it on if you want. These might have glue in them.
But, once we get the blessings going, we can say, dominoes, dominoes, we play dominoes.
Now, anybody that watches this show on a regular basis knows I never do this. This is all Mark's influence. Mark influence on the show is not a healthy one.
Why?
Or a good one.
Well, that's it. This is my last show. I'm not coming back on this thing.
You're gonna take
this is it.
You're gonna take your ball and go home. You're gonna take your network and go home.
Well, no. I mean, I'll still let you do it. You have 3 followers, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you stay on. But that's it. I'm not coming on here to help you anymore, and that's all the reason I'm here is to help you, Allan.
Well, one of the reasons why I won't grow the network is I don't want to crash your server. Oh my gosh. No, we're not mocking anything or anyone. So here's my tallit story. So the father, okay, do we have a whole bunch of Gloria Zion? Here we go. Has been keeping the Modim for as long as I can remember. That's right, Tova. Rude taught an episode where he talked about following Christ as a bondservant. So these, yep. Yeah, there you go, the bondservant earring thing. Great look, Mark. I'm still here. No one wore them. Look at that color, Allan. No one's wore them. I don't know. And Mark Rude. It's Mark Rude. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And that's another name I haven't seen on here. But I like that. Mark Rude. That's hilarious. Typo wears the yellow hat. I know, right? No one wears that hat. That yellow hat. I know. I love it. I
would if I had one.
Mark Rude look. Awesome. So the Lord showed me myself wearing tassels for 2+ years before I started wearing them. And here's why it took me so long to do that. You know that guy that's 1/1,000,000th Native American, but he runs around like he's freaking Sitting Bull. Yeah, that guy, to me, that's a poser, and I'm not a poser. And so I was like, man, I'm not gonna wear this Jewish stuff just because, I don't want to be that guy. And so but Father, the Holy Spirit, we don't have to wear tassels now and this and that. So literally the Lord showed me wearing tassels for over 2 years before I submitted and started wearing tassels. So I was having a hard time, I was straining on the gnat of tassels, let alone a tallit. Okay. That's a lot bigger than a tassel. So about almost 10 years ago now, we were on tour with our band MenAsTreesWalking.net. And we were working with a Messianic rabbi. He was highly prophetic. Yeah, you need to put some blue on those tassels there, buddy. And that would be the instruction, the commandment. And This guy, you know, this guy was a Cohen. He was in Kabbalah and all that before he came to Jesus and all that. So, you know, they came after him after he got saved. Anyway, when we were pulling out, he goes, so he's, like I said, he was highly prophetic, and he was praying when we first got there over me, a new mantle. And so we were there like 2 or 3 days. And when we were, as we were pulling out, he goes, hold on a second. And he goes to his, because we were on our big old tour bus, he goes to his car, pulls out his own personal tallit, and comes over to me, goes, here's your new mantle. I'm like, I can't take this. And he goes, yeah, you can. I'm like, no. I can't accept this. This is like the guy's tallit. This is like an incredibly, one of those hardcore, rabbinical, ornate. Yeah. I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, this is yeah. So he gave it to me, right? This thing, well, not like that. That's like, what is that? Yeah, like pictures all over that thing. So, right, so it's hanging in my tour bus, and I just, now sometimes I'd open up the closet and just look at it, because it's like, I was afraid to put that thing on, terrified to put that thing on, and you know, and it's literally was in my tour bus for like 2 years. I just wouldn't take it out of the closet. I mean, when and where am I going to wear this thing? Besides the fact that if I'm straining on tassels, and now I've got this, and it's not like that tallit. No, this is like that whole freaking cape thing, you know, massive. I'm like, oh man. And this guy was shorter than I am, and it just spooked me. You know, I don't know what you know. It was just. So I show up to Chuck Pierce's Glory of Zion for their Head of the Year conference. We go there every year. I don't know. This is like in 2012. Talit's been sitting in my bus for 2+ years or something. Now I go to this conference, and and there's tallits everywhere. Glory of Zion, man. There's tallits and shofars everywhere. Not so many tassels, but man, everybody and their mother's wearing a tallit, whether they should or not be wearing one, literally, and shofars everywhere. So I'm like, all right, if I can wear a tallit and get away with it and not be, you know, and be inconspicuous, it's at the Chuck Pierce conference. So I take my tallit. I am so self-conscious. You know how people talk about how, oh yeah, I was in my underwear and I was giving a speech in front of my class, right? That's what I felt like in this tallit. I felt like, you know, I'm wearing this tallit in a room full of tallits, and there's, you know, there's hundreds of people at this thing, and I'm like, I am so self-conscious. I mean, I'm like fidgeting, and my wife's like, knock it off, you know, and I'm like, oh. I feel like all eyes are on me, you know. It's just this, because again, I'm in a room, and like everybody and their mother the kitchen sink is wearing a freaking tallit in this place, and I'm like so uncomfortable. And I'm finally starting to calm down a little bit. And my wife, you can always leave it to my wife to throw me under my own bus. She's like, oh my, Allan, your tallit is so much more ornate than the rest of them.
I love it. I love it.
Gee, thanks, babe. I mean, I'm like losing my mind, and she's like, oh, Allan, your tallit is so much more ornate. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
They're going to think you're like the chief priest or the head rabbi or something.
I haven't worn it since.
No.
In fact, I bought this one at Chuck's.
No.
I bought this one at Chuck's place because it's so much simple. This is almost like just a shawl.
Yeah, it's a simple one. Yeah.
It's small. It's small and simple. This other one is like whoa, Batman cape or something. You know, it's like this massive. Sure. You know, I need to get a clip for it, is what I need to do. Wear it as a hood.
Right.
There is. I've only have taught once, maybe twice in 10 years wearing a tallit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wear tassels every day. Mm-hmm. I wear them on the golf course. I mean, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I wear tassels every day.
I do too.
The only time I don't wear tassels was when I'm fly fishing, because I'm wearing waders. You know, that's literally the only time I don't wear tassels. And in bed. You know,
in bed.
Other than that, I'm wearing I wear tassels all day, every day, without fail. So I've gotten over that because I was terrified of wearing tassels because I don't want to be that guy that's, 1 millionth Cherokee, but he runs around like he's freaking Sitting Bull. He's like,
Yeah, that's
he's an albino or he looks like you. Like what I mean by he's like, here's what I mean. He's like 100% white guy running around looking like he's Sitting Bull because he's like a fraction Native American. To me, that's like, wow. That's weird. That's weird. I don't want to be that guy so in my other book, The Feast Unlocked, I mentioned how this Hebrew roots thing or this coming to covenant Torah thing, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called this month, as well as how many Y's and H's does Jesus' name have this month? Right? I mentioned in this book that what we do as Torah believers isn't cosplay.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Because a lot of people get into this and it's cosplay to them. They start
Yeah.
wearing this white, flowy stuff and they have their
Right.
imitation gold encrusted shofar. And, it's like they get freaking goofy. They start wearing sashes around their. It's like, it's not cosplay, man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, wearing tassels was stepping into the realm of cosplay. This is in my mind, right? But I got over it. I wear tassels for the last 10 years, at least 10 years. I've been wearing tassels. No, for about 10 years now. I've been wearing, I avoided this thing for a long time. You got to remember. I avoided. Yeah.
Can I
yes.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but can I ask, do you wear Talit Kitan or Quick Connects?
No, I've thought about that. I've actually have thought about getting one.
Yeah, they're great. They really are great, especially in the wintertime, not so much in the summer, but
yeah,
they are great and they work and they're really good.
Right.
Mostly I wear Quick Connects on the four corners of
my
pants.
I just flip them around my belt loop.
Yeah.
But
oh,
hey,
you do? Yeah.
If anybody out there wants to get me one, you go to church.com and our P.O. box is there.
You're not really, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, you're not wrong about the Talit. I mean, I don't wear mine except for Moedim, special occasions, things like that.
I don't even do that.
Well, I know, and that's your. We have our own, opinion on it.
Well, it's not even an
it's
opinion. It's not even an opinion. I have
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
What is it? I'm a head case. I have
your conscience is making you.
It's like I don't know.
I'm
not even suggesting that I'm not wearing it because of anything right. It's just I'm very self-conscious.
I get it. I understand. See, that's the thing with me is that I have my own convictions and I know what I believe and I do what I believe. Now, as far as the kippah is concerned, there's two words, kippah and yarmulke. Yarmulke is a Yiddish word, and that is what most people refer to it as that really doesn't know anything about anything.
I call it kippah.
Yeah, kippah or kippah is the most common one among the Messianics.
Right.
Have you ever
knows yarmulke? Yeah.
Have you ever looked up the definition of both?
No.
Okay. Long time ago, way back when I first started doing this, I looked it up and found that, and I can't remember because I haven't looked it before. One of them means the palm of God, and I think it's kippah, or kippah means the palm of God. And yarmulke has a loose meaning of the laying on. So when I wear my kippah, I do it because I feel as though God is laying on the palm of his hand on my head and I'm under his covering. But that's the only reason I wear it. Now, when I wear it to church, that is the reason, because I'm going into worship. I'm going in to hear the word of God, and the whole thing. So I do wear it basically there, or synagogue meetings or Torah study meetings. But at church, it has afforded me the ability of people coming up and asking me questions. As a matter of fact, I keep a sticky note in my billfold that has for the Talit. It has the verse that says wear tassels on the four corners of your garment, and it also has the verse that talks about the woman that came up and touched the hem of Yeshua's garment. I put both of those, just the scripture verses on there. And when somebody asks me, they'll grab my talit and say, "Why are you wearing those?" All I do is just take out that paper. I give it to them. I said, "Look up those two verses and then come back and tell me what you found out about that." And I've got some great responses from it.
Right.
Really, really good responses. Because that's the way I like to teach. I like to let you go search this out, and then you tell me what you think, and then I'll correct you.
Right.
But, no, I'm just not correct.
Right. Tassels or ZZ, they're the same. Tassels are ZZ. So when we say tassels, we're talking about ZZ. The talit is the prayer shawl that we were wearing. We were both wearing. So I was convicted regarding ZZ. I just didn't submit to the instruction for a handful of years. Does that make sense? Sure. And here's what's weird. No one ever asks me about my tassels, and people don't touch them or grab them. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know, but no one ever asks me about my tassels. I think I'm convicted to some extent about something regarding the talit, the prayer shawl, but other than Shabbat, and the prayers or the feast days, well, there's no, and maybe a conference. I mean, but there's only one feast day conference I go to. I'm not going to wear a talit at a regular Christian conference. I'm not going to do that. Hell, I don't even wear them at the Messianic conferences I go to. I need to figure out when I should or shouldn't be wearing my talit. I guess I think I should be wearing it when I teach, and I don't.
It's to me, it's conviction. Well, it's totally your conviction on what you do. Yeah, but I don't think you'll be judged for it.
Right. Oh, I'm not worried about God's judgment. See, I'm self-conscious.
Man's judgment. Oh, I see. That's who you are.
But that's the thing. I'm not like that. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be a poser. I am that guy.
I'm opposed to posers.
Right, but when it comes to what other people think of me and what I wear or dress in, that's never been a problem ever. Until you start bringing this stuff up, then I'm like, ooh.
Glory to God. Only glory to God.
Is that like Christian cussing? There's
glory to God.
There's dead air. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Praise the Lord. It's so weird.
I love it. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. We're almost done with time here. So is this the place you went this past weekend the only place you've been, or have you done other Sukkots, other places with groups of people?
I think this is the first time we've gone out and done Sukkot.
Okay.
We usually just do it because we have our own community.
Right.
I
get it. I understand. Yeah. But you don't actually take the community out and camp for the 8 days and the whole thing. Or do you? You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So everyone does it in their own home. And then we pick a 3 or 4 day weekend around that week.
I see.
So within those 8 days, we'll get together as a community for 2 or 3 days, right? and we usually do it at our house because we have the big yard.
Right. Okay.
But we have also gone camping, but it's always been us and our group and others with us.
Right.
This is the first time a group of us has gone to somebody else's community or ministry.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah. But,
well, we were involved with Messianic community for, oh my gosh, a long time. And since, I think.
Were they flat earth?
No, absolutely 100% not.
I'm only saying that because what's his name brought it up?
Yeah.
I'm just making a funny. Bob did.
Anyway, we would go camping for the whole 8 days in one place that they rented every year, and it was an average of 1,200 people.
Wow.
1,200.
See, that sounds like a Christian music festival. A small,
yeah, kind of, but now, they had tents big enough to hold 1,000 people.
Sure. And
stage that was 80 feet long by 40 feet deep with the screen above it, and a tent big enough for the dining hall, and they fixed food for everybody, teaching tent, a marketplace, the whole thing. But brother, 1,200 people walking through the camp, and it was, like you said, peaceful. We had fun. We did all kinds of stuff. I would steal golf carts and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So my world consisted, up until about 6-7 years ago, my world consisted of Christian rock festivals.
Right, exactly.
Multiple ones.
Exactly.
So between June and September, I'm going to be hitting multiple Christian rock festivals that are lasting 3, 4, 5 days. Right? And because we would play multiple times at each festival, we were there for the duration. So we were doing what you just said, but we're talking 16,000, 20,000, 75,000.
Of course, I get it.
Depending on the festival, depended on the numbers, and these numbers would get very high.
Well, try putting together 1,200 Messianics all together for like a festival like that. I mean,
and we have experience in event staffing and logistics, so we understand what's involved. Right. But as an artist, we would show up to these Christian festivals that would have anywhere between 16,000 and 80,000 plus. And we would be there for 3 to 4 or 5 days. And the majority of the time we were either camping or in an RV or in a tour bus, right? And you know what we would do?
Go ahead.
Since these festivals usually run between Wednesday and Sunday, or Wednesday and Monday, or Thursday through Sunday, right? But either way, we would, what we would do for between 2008 and 2012. You know what we started doing?
What's that?
We started doing big old community Shabbats on Fridays, and inviting people to our campsite, to wherever we were parked on the festival grounds for Shabbat. And so Christians, we would have Christians, dozens and dozens of Christians show up to our Shabbats that had no idea what they were. They didn't know what was going on. All they know is that we're going to go hang out with Allan and the band at their campsite. They invited us, and they said they're going to feed us. So it's almost like a band meet and greet, and that's why they would come. And then we would do Shabbat with them, and they would freak out, man. As soon as you start lighting candles and doing communion, they think you're like in a freaking cult of some sort.
Of course.
I remember one time we were doing Shabbat in our tour bus, and because it was about to be Shabbat, we didn't go and do what everybody else was doing. We were with a tour with like 5 or 6 bands. And all the bands went to go like flyer the town for the event that weekend. And we're like, well, we're not going to go. It's the Sabbath. We're going to do Sabbath. And they were already having problems with us because of our observances. We were legalistic because we didn't want to eat pork and stuff. So anyway, so we were at a house of prayer somewhere in Florida. And so when all the bands came back to where we all were, all the bands were staying, they walked our tour bus, and what they saw was Alyssa, our keyboardist, doing the whole candle. Oh my gosh. They thought, oh my gosh, what is this witch doing in the tour bus? This
I get you.
whatever goofy thing. Oh yeah, we have to explain ourselves. Lucy, explain yourself. Oh my gosh.
Hey, look here. I found a real short video. Let me just show you real quick, basically what we did every year. And let me hit this share audio. Well, let's not share audio. Let's just look at this. Let me show you this. Hold on.
There you go.
No, let's go back. Check this out.
Mark's Home Movies.
No, check this out.
Is there audio?
No, we don't want the audio.
Oh.
This is a drone they use to put their video together. That's the outdoor stage they're doing now. That's looking down at the camp, of course.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find. Matter of fact, you probably see me in here several times. So there's the outdoor stage.
Somebody swimming.
Now this is awesome, man. They have like 300 people out dancing. You know?
Yeah, when I start seeing that kid stuff, that's why I start screaming, Colt.
No. Check this out. This is the Torah service. I did the Torah service every year for 9 years.
Oh wow! Now what gathering is this?
This is Lion Lamb Ministries in Chandler, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay, Monty Judah's group.
It's Monty's. Monty is still my rabbi.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That right there. Hold up. Let's back up. That right there. My wife and family did the Kiddush for probably 11 years at every Friday night service, but also during Feast of Tabernacles. What you see on the screen right there is my daughter, my son-in-law, and my 2 grandsons.
Oh, dude!
And they took over Kiddush after we left.
Wow. Well, stay right there because I was gonna see. I didn't know this was your family, like actual family.
That's my family.
What I was gonna say is, this is if that was a menorah, you could actually put one there in Photoshop. This is like an amazing, amazing photo.
It is. I agree, brother.
Depicting what we do and what we're about.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's awesome. No, I know. I know about Monty Judah's group. These guys buy like a couple dozen books every other month from me.
Good.
In fact, they bought a bunch of extra ones to take to their Shavuot gathering this year.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So here's a couple questions.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this back.
No problem. Here's a couple questions here. Let's deal with this. So everyone's talking about tzitzits. We make our own tzitzits here within the community, so we don't actually go out and buy them. We make our own. But yeah, they're out there. Someone's talking about the undergarment shirts.
The Talit Katan.
I'm serious. I'm interested in getting one. So if anybody wants to get me one for no reason, just because you love me, go to my Chameleon Church website and there's the PO box.
And you wear like a 4X large is what you wear?
No, I wear like a regular man's medium, I think. All right. Oh, and then here, Leslie, man, blessings on you, Leslie, in the name of Jesus. This is your first year of observance, and you flunked Sukkot. That's awesome. Blessings on you. Now, do you have my book?
Well, buy it. It's worth buying.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
It will help you.
I bought female undershirts, clip-on corners. Bob said he was sorry for bringing up flat earth. Bob, you don't have to apologize, dude. We're just razzing. We're just having a good time here. Just think what else we have. Oh, cool. Tova saying she was with you at the 2016.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. So these guys are buying my book and selling it. These guys have my book, and it's a big seller. And Monty said it was a really well-written book. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for them to invite me at least on their vidcast or their podcast or have me come and speak. That hasn't happened yet.
Not going to happen.
Why?
Well, we could talk about that off air.
Why? Let's talk about it right now.
Let's not.
So it's one of those, if you're not one of us, you're not actually one of us. Then why are you selling my book? Let's see. Line code. Yeah, Tova, that looked like really awesome. That's what I'm used to, that kind of stuff. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm all about that, man. Oh wow, someone's gonna wow. Wow.
I was just actually saying, you were talking about the prayer shawls.
Oh, look at she's even saying it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. No, it's not. Hold on a second here.
Faux pas.
All right.
Faux pas. Phone ringing in the background, man. Well, let's talk so we don't hear this private conversation Mark's having with who knows who. Mark has a little worried look on his face. It's like, so anyway, hey, it's the top of the hour. We sure do appreciate hanging out with you guys. I appreciate hanging out with you guys. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Chaos Mark, right, Desiree? You did it again. Like, share, subscribe. You know, the Rude Awakening stuff. If you go to a Rude Awakening or Shabbat Night Live on YouTube, it's there. It's archived. You can watch it. You can watch all 4 episodes. You can watch the Feast Unlocked episodes from about 8 months ago. What else? We've got the 2 books. I'm about to start writing the new one, which I'm really excited about. What else is going on? I don't know. I want to come up with something really rad to offer you guys. I don't, not like a love gift or anything weird like that, but for Hanukkah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do a book special or something. But yeah, so now we're between feasts. So now go and do what you've been taught the last 7 months, what the Lord has spoken to you in your life, and what the Lord has taught you the last 7 months. Now let's go out and do it. And because before we know it, man, Passover is going to be here. Hey, so 2 years ago, when the Feast book came out, we offered a digital PDF downloadable calendar based on this. And this, it got away from me. We were not able to actually put a calendar up for you guys or for whoever wanted one as a resource this year. And so we were just posting it over at the Facebook page, the Chameleon Church Facebook page. We were posting dates as they were coming up. We want to make sure that we have a PDF for you guys to download. Now, in the same way, there's a gazillion books out there about the feasts. So the fact that the Lord had me write one, I was like, why? The fact that people buy this thing blows my mind because there's a gazillion books out there about the feast. I need a nice menorah, Alan. Okay. I had to go to Israel to get mine. But so Desiree needs a nice menorah. Somebody send her a nice menorah. Desiree, I don't know if you got a P.O. box, post your P.O. box. What is it? This is going to be a Judaica exchange. That's what
this is a classified show. Put what you want to buy and what you want to sell into the chat.
Oh my God.
We'll make it happen.
My gosh. And don't put your home address. Put a P.O. box. Somebody send that woman a.
Go ahead. Put your home address in there. We don't care.
No. What was I talking about? Oh, so we want to make sure we have that calendar resource for everyone this year. It's a downloadable PDF. I was asked if we would be. It was suggested that we actually print them. Now there is probably more printed calendars out there for everyone to buy than there is feast books. So I'm like scratching my head. Since there's a gazillion calendars out there, why would anybody want to buy this one? So And if we're going to make them, and if we're going to print them, we're going to have to probably do a run of a couple hundred in order to make it worth, the cost of the actual printing of them, because it costs money to do this. Is anyone out there actually literally interested in our calendar? We need to find that out, because if so, we'll have some printed in time for Passover. If not, no hurt feelings here. That's why we provided a downloadable PDF a couple years ago. So there's things like that. Chameleon Church Facebook page. Go there, leave your questions and answers and stuff like that. That's a really good way for us to interact and communicate. This is once a week. This goes away once we hit end broadcast, whereas the Facebook page, that's there and it's archivable and we can keep track and all that. So thank you for hanging out. Happy anniversary to my wife. And Mark.
Happy anniversary from Ed McMahon.
Thank you. Hey, Mark, thanks for hanging out. And I will do my best to get somebody on here for next week.
Yeah, so I don't have to be here.
No, you can still be here.
You heard it, everybody. He said I could be here.
I did. You and all your funky little hats.
I feel like I'm wearing a wizard hat or something, or Kaiwanis or something.
Thank you, Desiree.
Oh, look at there. Look at there. That's a little hair there going.
All right, we got to pull the plug on this. Where's that? There it is. There it is. Thank you, everyone.
You're listening to Chameleon Church. Biblical antidotes for the modern man. With your host, Allan Aguirre.